A letter to my grandmother. Dear GiGi, you were 60 years old when I was born, and you were a big part of my life. You died 20 years ago at the age of 96. So much has happened since then that I wish you could have witnessed. When you were alive, I was home a lot and didn't go out much. You didn't think I'd get better, and you thought my problem was behavioral. I had all sorts of books about schizophrenia, but you didn't read them because you didn't believe it. I wish you understood my illness better. But when I was hospitalized, you thought I was misbehaving, but I knew it was something else. Still, you always treated me respectfully. Remember the time we were in New Paltz and you trusted me to go get ice cream when Mom was too protective and didn't want to challenge me so much? I like that you treated me like I was normal, but I do wish you understood that I was not acting out. I couldn't help it. I know that mental illness in others had already taken a toll on your life. You lost one of your sons, my uncle, to suicide. A short while after that, your other son died because he wouldn't stick to a diet. I remember how sad you were when they died. I remember you cried like how my father cried when he found out I had mental illness. He didn't cry in front of me, but Mom told me he had cried. I'm not sure why he cried. It's not like I died. I still had my whole life in front of me. Since then, I've become so much more independent. You got to see some of that. I'm glad you were alive when I got my own apartment. I was glad for that. I had no roommate and no program to speak of. You'd see me on the weekends because I'd come back to my parents' house. So much more has happened since you passed. I wish you could have been here for all of it. I got my master's degree in mathematics. MHA had a party for me when I got my degree. We had great food, pigs in a blanket, and a huge chocolate cake. All my friends were there. My family took me out to dinner with my professor at Bassik in New Paltz after my thesis defense. These days, I live on St. James, a nice broad street with lots of trees. I live in an apartment with big rooms, and I have good neighbors. It's a good neighborhood. I'm very busy during the week, going to MHA and pros. I have a compeer volunteer whom I do things with on the weekends. I'm very involved. Recently, I lost a good friend to cancer. She was part of my art classes. I turned to hospice on her behalf because Mom had hospice too. Longer weekends are hard for me, like holidays. If you were here, GiGi, I'd be spending holidays with you, and long weekends wouldn't be so lonely. Sometimes on holidays, I visit Irene and Kevin and their kids, and it's nice. Kevin has always been good to me. It seems to me that he and my sister have this habit of playing good cop, bad cop. They alternate roles. I'm thinking I would go back to my bad habits if something would happen to either of them. You know, screaming and such, saying, ah. I remember their early days. My mother was alive then. GiGi, I wonder what you would say about my latest mental, i.e. psychic, discoveries. You didn't get to witness them. Earlier today, I had an ESP experience with a cartoon character. The voice in my head was like Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse. I could picture them standing next to me, or maybe dancing, as in that famous scene from Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly. I confess, I don't visualize image well, so this was probably all but an auditory hallucination. My delusions and hallucinations may have started when my best friend told me he was from Mars. He tells me to look carefully at his head. I see the faint outlines of an antenna. He tells me he owns several large companies. About a month later, I tell him point blank, "You're a Martian." He tells me he was only saying that. I still believe he's a Martian. He tells me the rich entrepreneur part is true, though. Still, I remember vividly the antenna. GiGi, there are areas where I still struggle. I have a tendency to cry a lot. I find it hard to communicate. I have trouble reading. I get nervous and do things like spill the coffee. I get nervous about TMI. I'm afraid of being judged, but I want to express myself. There are good things too. I like that people like me. I like that I'm getting more organized, I hope. GiGi, I wish you could be around because I would have liked for you to see that I got better. Love, Morris.